Hello.
We're back.
What is this part 4?
Yes, I believe part 4.
I'll do an intro where I'll be much more confident, and it'll look like I always knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
Previously, on the Pale Beyond, we're at week 14. We've been 3 weeks at second camp, and what happened last time? I think you decided to stay on the ship an extra night, and then that resulted in it being dragged under.
Yes, that was the day that the ship cracked.
Yeah, you conveniently chose that day to get off the ship, the day that it went under. Then we spent some time at the original camp, I believe, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, the original camp, Temperance Camp, where we were eventually told by our navigator, our darling navigator, Kurt Darling, that you need to get moving, Shaw, because if you don't, this society is going to go under, and I'm a celebrity, didn't you know, so I know what I'm talking about. And everyone agreed with him. Although you can't disagree with him, and I think if you do, it's just a game over. So we moved to the second camp.
Yes.
Where you managed to save the scout Flick from a leopard seal.
Yes!
Very quick thinking from you with just firing off the rifle without thinking. The first time I played, I actually got Flick killed because I hesitated. Because I waited for it to get closer to take the shot.
No, that's not what you do with a rifle.
I thought, I'll wait till I've got a better shot, and then it killed Flick. It was very sad. Yeah, but we arrived at the second camp without too much of a problem. We got some leopard seals, so honestly, food's not an issue. The only thing I'm worried about is coal, because we're almost out.
Yes, that could be an issue. Can't burn snow.
I also realised the revolver we took from Mr. Zach, we do actually use on hunts anyway.
We have it in our hunts.
Yeah, so that's very handy.
That is good.
But anyway, get started at 3 weeks at Temperance Camp. How's the audio for you?
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay,
nice level.
So we need to take requests, but we've got some things to listen in on if you'd like to.
Let's listen in.
Let's eavesdrop on some people. Who's this?
Drop and leave, sir.
That is Kurt and Templeton.
Yes.
Listen in. Yeah. Turn this down. You know, Richard, I much prefer a hearty dinner of wild game to what we had before. Never could stomach those tinned rations, least of all the peaches.
Is that so?
I admit, I might be a little biased. Where I'm from, you could get fresh peaches by the bundle, right off the tree. Bite into one of those, and it takes me right back to my childhood.
Yes. Peaches are native to your home island, as I understand.
Appleton didn't quite do the flavour justice when they decided you should all have them. It's all too processed, I say.
Well, concessions have to be made in order to encourage further production. Are you sure there is issue with the flavour, or do you simply prefer to live off the land?
You know, it may just be that. I admit, there's a certain satisfaction in gathering your meal yourself. That's how we all did it hundreds of years back.
Thankfully, those days are long behind us. Anyway, I must attend to the day's requests.
He must attend to the day's requests.
Yeah,
You're the one
cheeky
that
bugger.
fucking does them.
I'm the fucking captain, lad.
Here we have Cordell and Nutley.
Cordell and Nutley.
This one wandered into my tent this morning.
Come along, Pascal. Don't bother the doctor.
Pascal.
Did he get into your stores by any chance?
No, he just woke me from my sleeping bag. He was licking my face.
A friendly one. No need to be frightened, Doctor.
I'm not.
Of course.
Oh, she's so mean. Who have we got? Hammond. Morning, Captain. I think I'm going to miss the summer when it leaves us.
I say bring on the winter. Let this place show the worst it has for us.
Tempting fate with that one, Captain. Winter means colder. Colder means having to waste more fuel on this bloody thing. Not looking forward to that, let me tell you.
I thought he liked it when I joked on.
Not when it's joking about how we're all fucked. Right. How's the crew doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are currently freezing. I can fix 2 with the furnace. And I might have to throw some elephant seals in there as well. Right. Let's take requests for the day. And see where we're at. Nutley! Captain, Kurt's game of rugby was a rousing success. Everyone was eager to get involved.
Even yourself, Doctor? You don't seem the sort.
I'm not, but Kurt did drag me into a game. I was tackled fairly hard. I'm still feeling it, to be honest. I'm not alone.
I'm not surprised there was much roughhousing involved.
Still, everyone had a great time, despite the multitude of aches and pains. If you'll excuse me, I need to lie down. Kurt and Hammond once again. I'm telling you, you're jumping the gun here. And I'm telling you, you're out of your bloody mind.
Gentlemen, what seems to be the issue here?
Apologies for bursting in like this, but winter's on its way. We need to hunker down as soon as possible. If we want to survive the cold, we'll want the camp to be set up for the winter in 2 weeks.
And you disagree with this, Kurt?
You want protection from the elements, I understand, but I know just how long the winter can last. If we haven't stockpiled enough food, we'll starve to death waiting for the weather to clear.
So you would suggest a longer hunting period?
Much longer. 5 weeks if we can. 5 bloody weeks! Winter will have hit by then. Are you mad? We'll have enough to live off. 2 weeks is all we need. I'm sorry. Have you been on the ice before? You talk like you have. Don't need experience to have common bloody sense, do I?
Men, calm down. There's no need to turn this agreement personal. Captain, your thoughts?
Let's have a look. How are we doing for food? 7 elephant seals, 4 crab-eater seals, 5 Anthony penguins, and 4 leopard seals, plus some tinned food and some fish. 2 weeks worth of hunting. I'm not really sure what I'd be able to get us in that time. I can scout 3 new locations per week with the scouts, so that's 6 locations, and then each hunting party takes 2 to 4 men.
Yes.
If it's a leopard seal, it's 2. Anything else is 4. In terms of sailors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We only really have 7 available. I don't know, because there's a good chance I might have to start using elephant seals as fuel if it comes to it.
Yeah.
Coal is getting low. I've still got the flares. I don't know. I think it's up to you. I feel like I could try and make it work. Obviously, longer would be better, but it depends, because obviously the colder it gets, the more people will be freezing.
Yeah.
When they go out, and that'll get harder and harder to manage, unless I can get more elephant seals to help out.
What do you think?
You're the captain. More time to hunt would just mean we're more secure for food, but like I say, more people might be freezing, and I've only got 2 engineers to manage the heat. It's quite hard to deal with. I can cure freezing, to be fair, if I use more coal. And anyone who gets frostbite, I can send them to the doctor. And I've got enough medical comforts to heal 6 people with frostbite.
Okay. What happens if you say, Mr. Gaming, I say you have to think it over?
I think they come back to you in a couple of weeks and ask the same question.
Okay, so you buy yourself a couple of weeks.
I think so. Or I think they might come back to you each individually, and then you and then try and make that case again. But to be fair, I think they do that anyway. But say what you would think without having that knowledge. Who do you agree with? Or do you want to stay on the fence for now?
I want to stay on the fence for now.
Okay.
I will have to think this over. You both make good points.
Ooh. You can't sit on this, Captain. You have to decide. We can't afford to be hesitant.
Enough, both of you. Captain Shaw will think the matter over. I trust the Captain's choice. Perhaps 2 weeks from now, circumstances will change. We will see. Now, if you'll both carry on with your work...
Fine. Okay. I trust you, Captain. Ooh, we lost Hammond's loyalty. Where is it at? How much by?
Not by let's see, Kurt.
I think you've still got more of the crew loyal than disloyal, to be fair. Although you lost some of Kurt's loyalty. Ooh, look at that little... This is Zach. Captain, a suggestion. The ice at this camp seems stable enough that we could conceivably drill a hole through it.
What, like with a bullet? For what purpose?
Ice fishing. I understand the crew are quite adept at the pastime, and it would prove a pathway to gather more food.
Certainly. I'll assign some crew to that matter.
I approve. I'll send these lads. And it means they don't get sent on because this gives us some fish. And fish is actually really good. Thank you, Captain. I will direct them in their duties.
Perhaps we will catch something worth our while.
That's requests for the day. Okay.
The earlier debate between Mr. Hammond and Mr. Darling was quite worrying. If our navigator and our engineer are at odds, a divide will form amongst the crew. They're both reasonable men. It won't come to that. We can only hope. The crew is like the body. Each organ must be working in tandem if we are to survive.
Right. Let's get to work. Ooh, got something to over here. Looks like Junior, I think. Do you remember Junior's accent?
Alright.
We settled on Yorkshire. But then after we heard the song, we were starting to think Scottish, but
I thought everybody was.
It's too late now.
He's from Yorkshire.
He's from Yorkshire. All right, here we go. Ready? Yeah. Okay.
Warm one today, relatively speaking.
I never understood how we could grow so used to the cold. I can't even handle a proper summer back home these days. Ha!
An island summer might be just what we need when it's done.
Right, let's heat these boys up. I could afford 3 elephant. Can I afford 3 elephant seals? I think I can afford 3 elephant seals. Because I don't really make much use of the doctor. So what I might do, and this is gonna sound kind of evil. I might leave these guys to develop frostbite and then just use the doctor to cure them with the medicinal comforts.
I knew nothing of this. I will turn a blind eye.
I'll put 1 seal in there. 2 seals.
Excuse me.
There we go. And it's only 1 person who's freezing.
How did we drag this furnace out onto the ice?
You were there when it happened.
Oh.
But we didn't see it, it just kind of happened in between.
Well, yeah, exactly, so I wasn't, was I?
Well, I mean, we kind of were. Filling up the hoosh pot, throwing in some penguins.
Oh no.
What?
I don't know, I thought of putting penguins in this.
Tasty.
We're putting them in whole, like,
just
like beaks and feet and all.
Chucking them all. Look,
oh,
we're hungry
no.
guys. Right.
It smells so ghoulish.
Let's send out the lads. Go on, Flick. Find me some leopards. Ooh, are those emperor penguins?
Oh dear.
Ooh, more emperor penguins.
No, happy feet.
Happy feet, more like happy meat. Alright, lads. Get out there, give me some pengies. Give me some penguins. And then...
Why did the penguins sing in that one?
I don't know. They didn't. Well, they did, but
Yeah,
they
they
danced more than they sung, didn't they?
No, well, yeah, but they also sang.
I could send out a hunt with the scientists, but then I'd be one down. Or I can make some medical comforts. To be fair, 2 medical comforts is a lot, if you ask me. Or I could send them to research some science and get some decorum back. But these penguins are looking mighty tasty. What I might do next week is use the scouting team to hunt instead of scout. Like send 1 scout to try and find some more leopard seals. And then send the other 2 to hunt with the sailors. Because we've used free sailors this week for the ice fishing.
Yeah.
Which should get us some fish, which we can feed to the dogs. So what I'll do... I'll get some more medical comforts. No. I don't want to do that. I want to cook up some medical comforts. There you go.
What are in the medical comforts?
Video game malarkey. Video game malarkey.
Video game
Gobbledygook.
malarkey?
Yeah. Alright. I think I'm ready to call the crew for dinner.
Call those little bastards in for dinner.
The crew have their meal.
Good for them.
Dinner is shared and stories are traded.
We will never hear any of them.
Sadly. I've been thinking, Shaw. If this expedition is indeed the end of the line for Curt Darling, I wonder how they'll speak of me when I fail to return. What will the newspapers say?
They'll herald your return and nothing more. Don't lose faith.
Ever the optimist, Captain. Suppose I should think the same, for the crew's sake at least. Funny, isn't it? No matter what you do in life, you never get to see your own legacy. I was looking at my contract, Captain. After you and Templeton, I'm next in command. So don't bloody die. I don't want that responsibility.
Well, no, I can't die. I don't want to subject the crew to your leadership.
Ha! You've got that bloody right, Captain. Anything from these 2? Kasha.
Before I joined this expedition, I was concerned with how my report would be received. I'm certain the wreck makes for a more interesting story. But before that, it feels like interest in the great explorers is waning. Then why did you take the story? Well, interest wasn't waning with me. I grew up on these tales. Don't know where I'd be without them. Others may not care these days, but they stick with me. I hope another child latches on to this story.
That's nice. They're at it again. You notice the sailors are still seated around the campfire, listening with rapt attention as Grimley plays on his accordion.
A 1, a
the
2.
same song from last week. More of the crew have since joined in.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Templeton approaches, speaking to you in a hushed tone.
Captain, do you hear this? This has gone on long enough, don't you think? What do you mean? This will continue until you put a stop to it. Your leadership is in question. You have to act.
You already spoke to him.
I've elected to leave Grimley be. Please respect that, Templeton. Very well. If you won't do something, I will.
As the music comes to a close, Templeton marches up to Grimley.
Mr. Glossley, return to your post immediately.
The old man catches himself before returning to his tent in shame. Problem?
Good song. What's it about?
What?
What is the song about?
The crowd of sailors stay, watching the confrontation. It sure set you up to this.
Just tell me, Mr. Stoke. What is that song about?
Piss off.
So, you won't tell me?
Grimley reaches forward and grabs Templeton stiffly by the collar. I said piss off!
Templeton, I told you to leave Grimley be.
Ooh, plus 20 loyalty. That's the best you've ever done.
Sowing seeds of mutiny is not something that can be left be.
Grimley releases his grip on Templeton's collar. Sounds like you're the one disobeying orders.
If you'll excuse me.
Templeton slinks off to his tent as the crowd disperses. Ooh, fish. Fish, 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 fish.
Fash.
Oh, are you ice fishing? Yes. Are you interested? My father would take me fishing quite often. I have some experience. Of course, it's a different story on the ice. Feel free to take the reins, Doctor. Oh, thank you. Perhaps a bit later. Who are we talking to first? Or should we just start and kind of zigzag our way down? I'll start. Who's this? Runt Star. Who still has that nickname despite the fact Runt
Is
not on the ship.
halfway back to
Except
England
he's in
by now.
all the pictures.
It's like a ghost story.
I think we have a ghost stowaway, yeah. Oh no, it's two Johns. How are my favourite crew members, Lady Cordell?
Tired. They need their rest.
Oh, I won't disturb them then. You know, you should treat them more often.
They receive all the treats they need, I assure you. Stanbury and Pascal are engaged in a fight this morning. A more serious matter than the usual scrap. I put a stop to it, but it is concerning. Those two often get along.
Oh.
Perhaps the pressure is finally getting to them. The ice can do this to people. Dogs are no different. I would hope not, but you may be right. The stress can affect us all, can it not? I will have to be more gentle with that pair in the coming weeks.
That is a very catchy song. I'm sad we cut it off. Who's this? Dick Grips.
Dick Grips.
Dick Grips. You're Dick.
Thank you.
Are you Dick?
Yeah, I'm Dick.
I'm Grips.
Yeah?
No, you're Grips.
No, I'm Dick.
Hmm.
Oh,
Grips is the chatty one. I got them mixed up. You're Grips.
okay. See, the chief's got a bit of a spat with Mr. Darling.
Aye.
Hammond's brilliant, but he's adamant to make everything harder on himself. Not that Darling's any better.
This looks like Lefty and Gnomes, maybe?
Starting to miss the browbeating heat. Calling this summer feels like a joke. Bundle up more, old man. It will only get colder from here.
I don't think he has anything to say, but I'll check. Oh no, he has.
On a ship with Grimley and Hunt. To be honest, that's all I've ever known. Half of my earliest memories are of that. When this is over, not sure what to do. You have a talent. Plenty of ships will take you on as a cook. Do I want another ship? I don't know. All I know is those days with Hunt are over.
Those days with Hunt are over. Grimly. We've been out here too long. Missed the sea. I just don't feel right on solid ice. Captain Hunt would tell me to suck it up if he were here.
I feel the same. The ice is no home.
Agreed. sooner we get off the ice, the better. How's your loyalty with him now? He got quite a lot of it. Ooh, that's 25. Alright, still could be better, but almost there with Cordell as well. She's been a bit of a slow burn. Who's this? Looks like Flicken Quilsley. Oh, you're the third. Same fucking person, isn't it? I've noticed old Kurt has been butting heads with the engineer lately.
Not surprised. Mr. Hammond has butted heads with just about everyone so far.
That mole man ought to be careful who he speaks to. He's fortunate Kurt is so patient.
Let's be fair. Kurt can be as stubborn as the rest at times.
Anything?
I need to finish developing these. Thanks for stopping by, though. NPC line.
Good evening, Captain. I escaped to talk with Kurt over dinner. He kept asking about my plans for the future. I didn't know what to say.
Understandable. Now, most of all, we should be focusing on the present.
Agreed. It's hard to think years ahead when we can barely look a week into the future. I hope I can answer properly in the future. That will be the first step of my plan. Any new pictures? I don't think so. Oh,
I
maybe.
haven't seen these ones.
Yeah, look, there's Templeton. Hold on, let's see if we can find the ghost. There is ghost pictures. Oh, that's a good one. There, look!
A
there he
ghost.
is! This little fucker's not on the ship at all.
He
left him behind.
Scary.
Yeah. We've got a ghost on the ship, and only Kasha seems to be able to see it with the camera. Oh, spooky. Alright, Templeton.
I will respect your decision, Captain. Believe me, though, he will only continue to cause issues for us.
Actually surprised you didn't lose any loyalty from him. You gained +5 for
Yeah,
basically... You gained loyalty by basically saying, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to let him do it.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
And Templeton was like, I like that, but I'm going to deal with this myself.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
I think Hammond, you should be able to get his loyalty back. Hopefully. Right, I think that's it for the week.
That leopard seal getting more skeletal.
I do love me a leopard seal. Okay, food, fuel...
Captain has a frozen arse.
Arse.
I could really go for cheese toasty.
A cheese toasty. Ooh. Cheese and onion.
Yeah, should we have a cheese and onion toasty after this?
Yeah, why not? And talk about the warm food we're going to have while these people freeze to death.
I was going to say, I bet they could do with a cheese and onion toasty.
I bet they could, like. Right. I am going to save fuel at the cost of food. No, wait, I don't need to do that. Yeah, save fuel and deal with the freezing. It's a lot of freezing, but I can deal with it. I can take it. Trust me.
I can take it.
4 Emperor Penguins. Suck it up, gnomes. It's just a bit of cold. Suck it up, 2 Johns. Suck it up, Lefty. It's just a limb. You've already lost one. If you count an eye as a limb.
Dick is now freezing. No! You're frozen, Dick.
Poor Dick. Week 15. 4 weeks at second camp. Yeah, it's a wee bit chilly, yes. Look! Oh my god. Food!
Oh my god.
A small group of Emperor Penguins have waddled near to camp. You notice Mr. Gloss and Mrs. Gloss studying them closely. Look, dear! Aptenidites! How extraordinary!
Astounding. This must be the first sightings of their rookery.
Penguins!
Oh.
Food! Okay.
I feel not good, but
Nutley and Kurt. Kurt, do I, seem afraid of the sled dogs, that is? Well, are you? Oh. Have you ever owned a dog as a pet? No. My family does own several cats. Ha! I'd be more afraid of those clawed beasties before I feared a little pup. I suppose you're right. Hammond? That Curt doesn't know what he's on about. Lost in his own little world, he is. Let's think it's still 30 years ago. Man begged and pleaded to even be here, just to feel important. Ooh. There's tension brewing in this here camp. Tension there be brewing. Alright, I should probably heal Lefty. I was really expecting more crew to get frostbite.
I wonder how he cures it.
Just does. He's just great. He rubs some ointment on there and he cures frostbite just like that.
Yeah,
that's how it works, you know.
What if he is just hacking off the limb? Just like,
I think
like,
we'd,
oh, okay,
I think we'd notice, you know. I feel like we'd notice. What we got to put in? Ooh, Emperor Penguins, but who should put up by 9. Very nice.
Blubber.
Yeah. Pop them all in. Yes. Yes. Right. Take requests for the day. Hello there. An Emperor Penguin waddles into the tent. That was good. Templeton looks to you confused.
Captain?
It watches you carefully. Okay then, can I help you? Mr. Zack. Captain, last week's ice fishing was quite the success. We were able to gather a decent haul with some patience.
Good to hear.
Ooh, +4 fish. Mm-hmm. Thank you for providing the manpower. Some extra rations will certainly come in handy. Curt? Captain, that Hammond has quite the temper on him. He is one to dig his heels in at any opportunity. We have enough time before winter. We should focus on hunting. You've been thinking it over, so I feel I should state my case one more time.
What are we thinking?
You're the captain.
We've
We've just got a colony of Emperor Penguins came into the camp.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy. Anyway.
I told you both I would think it over. Please respect my eventual decision.
Very well. I'll honour your decision. Apologies for bothering you, Captain.
Took that
Oh, another one. Emperor Penguin waddles into the tent.
Squawk!
Templeton looks unamused.
Ridiculous.
It watches you carefully. What did you want? Hammond. Captain, we need to talk about last week. I'm telling you, we won't last if we don't hunker down for winter starting next week.
I'm still thinking it over, Hammond. I will inform you of my decision.
Aye, aye. But you best decide quick, Captain. Another one. Do you want to do this?
An Emperor Penguin waddles into the tent.
Squawk!
Templeton looks at the bird begrudgingly. Shoo. It watches you carefully.
Captain, a truly urgent request. Well, perhaps not urgent, but, well, when inspiration strikes.
Collect yourself, Mr. Gloss.
Right, well, this is the perfect opportunity to write up a proper study on the birds of this region. I asked that some of the science team be allowed this week to write up our findings.
That may risk us losing the opportunity to harvest as many of them for resources as possible.
I don't really use the science team for much, so if you want to have them...
Yeah. No issue there, go ahead. Let them... diddle some birds.
Thank you, Captain. The history books will smile on you for this.
And thus the film March of the Penguins was born. Mr. Gloss wrote the script for Happy Feet that very evening.
Oh my goodness. If they don't write a script...
Oh my god, there's so many
Look at them all.
This is so funny.
Arf, ruff.
Calm, Stanbury. They are just curious of our presence here.
We never cast Stanbury. Do you want to be Stanbury? Beautiful. You hear a long penguin call.
You hear a baby penguin sneeze.
What does a baby penguin sneeze sounding like? I feel like it's
a penguin squawk. You notice a penguin has made its way into the medical tent.
No! You stay out of there!
Ha, a new patient. This one's more ornery than the rest of the crew.
It's picking at my medical bag. I'm sorry, but you can't have what's in there.
Did you just apologise to the bird?
Well, I don't know how you remove a penguin from your premises.
Keep listening. It should be simple, Doctor. Just pick it up by the...
What?
Well, I was going to suggest under the wings, like a child, but that seems unwise on second thought.
Good, penguin. Now, shoo!
Ah, yes, the universal language between man and beast. Shoo.
Oh, Captain, I could use a little assistance. It seems we have something of an unwelcome guest at camp.
There are many more outside, you know.
What? Oh, okay. This shouldn't be an issue.
Nutley gently grabs the bird by the sides. The squawking of the penguin ceases as he gingerly leads it out of the tent flaps.
There. Done.
3 cheers for the triumphant Dr. Nutley.
I suppose I was getting worked up over a small issue.
That's normal on the ice. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to grab as many shots of the colony as I can before they're gone. If our tent has another vicious, bag-pecking intruder, let me know.
Oh. Right. Okay, before we send the folks out, suppose we should decide what to do about the colony. We could hunt some. Which would be just like a regular hunting trip, just saving on the dogs. Or we could wipe them all out. Which would get a steady supply of food. But it would likely interrupt the research we set Mr. and Mrs. Gloss on. And, well...
Contribute to the endangerment of penguins?
Well, we're some of the first explorers here. I don't think there's any risk of them going extinct right now. I mean, we would wipe out an entire colony, which does have its own moral and ethical implications. I think I know what you're going to choose.
Some of the colony.
Some of the colony.
In these times, we can't afford to leave them alone entirely. That would be silly, but I'm not going to kill all the penguins. I'm sorry, this is going to come back to bite me in the arse later, I know.
The team get to work.
Okay.
It's fine. Like, hunting them all is the pragmatic choice.
But it's cruel.
But it is, yes, it's very cruel. But you know what else is cruel? Dying. Dying is cruel. Right, give me some leopard seals. Yes. Alright.
And also it would take up all our... dogs. You say. Would it take up all our dogs?
No. If we, I think we have to assign more crew to hunt the entire colony. The dogs are just for going on sledding trips. Which I will hunt some more emperor penguins. Never mind. I will hunt. In that case, I think I'll go for Adelie penguins because I get more anyway. Bow wow wow. There we go. Feel good about that. I mean, it would have been nice to have a steady supply of penguin meat that we could have just helped ourselves to every morning. But alas, that would be cruel. The crew have their meal. Look at all the penguins. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. The penguin colony moves on.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Captain, you have a pen, don't you? There's something I need to write.
Of course.
I've been giving it a great deal of thought. I'm going to make sure we all make it back home. But if I don't, I want you to pass something on. Should I die, I want the ownership rights of my films divided up among my children. It will set them up for many years. Could you pass that on for me, Robin?
I'd be honoured to carry that out, if it comes to that.
Thank you, Robin. I knew I could trust you. Ooh, Ooh, got a lot of people having chitty chats. This looks like Quilsey, and I think that's either Dick or Grips. Quilsey, that's you.
Seems Curt and the Moleman are still going at it.
Yeah, you're Grips.
Not surprised the chief doesn't bend in disagreements. Maybe he should. Simple apology would allow us to return to our work without issue. Or makes you believe Hammond should be the one apologising. Common sense.
Tucker and Cavity. It's a bit tense these days, isn't it?
Not surprised. Time's catching up to us, right? Can't take another week looking out at nothing but the ice.
Reading something? Yes. A book on poetry. Can you read one? On poetry? Not of poetry. It's an analysis of the technique. Oh, I've always wanted to read. Is that so? You wouldn't mind helping, would you? I suppose I could lend you a book. Something simple. Thank you! Oh, he's going to teach him to read. It's kind of sweet. Ain't up for dinner, are ya? You ain't getting a sniff of this. Get running back to your master. Alright, just a bite. What a big softie. Was thinking, if I die, the crew's fucked. My work would be wasted if I end up going under. Captain, if I go, you better keep them alive. I'm not keen on dying for nothing.
I promise you, Hammond, nothing you do will be in vain.
Better not. I don't ask much, Captain. I ask you that. I trust you. Better than most on the ice. I trust you. At least in the last 10 seconds after you said that, gain my loyalty.
I feel like a small bar inside me has just like gone up a little
slightly
bit.
raised to the point where I trust you now.
Very specific imagery, but I just feel it for some reason.
Those two will bicker again over dinner.
Hammond and Curt. Both of them are talking shite. Someone
should talk to them.
Aye. I know when a punch-up's brewing.
Captain has...
Do me a favour, Shaw. If I don't make it back with the rest of you, take care of Grimley. Losing Hunt's one thing, but both of us. I'll try, Junior. I can promise you that. Aye, thanks. Make sure he's set up well. He deserves that much, at least.
Sure. If anything happens to me, make sure Junior has my accordion. It's all I've got to give.
I'll make sure of that, Grimley.
Aye. Thanks. Why is everyone giving their death speech?
I like how Junior was like, Captain, if something happens to me, take care of Grimley.
Yeah.
And Grimley was like, Captain, if anything happens to me, take care of my accordion.
Give my accordion to my brother. Everyone's doing like, if I die, this will happen. Please do this for me.
Must have been the penguins.
Yeah, the penguins made everyone existential.
They were like, oh god. Curt and Mr. Hammond are still at odds, I see.
The engineer and the navigator butting heads. That's not a good sign, is it?
They're smart men, Doctor. I'm sure they'll reach a peaceful agreement in time.
I would hope so.
There's no need to worry. This will pass. Captain, I've made a decision.
Your hand.
I know enough of these expeditions. There's no guarantee I will return home. My writings are inside a case alongside Dr. Nutley's equipment. If the rest of you return to land without me, I want my writings to be published. Finished, unfinished, it doesn't matter. I'll make sure of that, Kasha, I promise.
You're making a lot of promises today.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you. I'm only following the crew's story. it shouldn't die with me.
Captain, there's something I want to ask of you. Something difficult.
Goodness me, why is everyone being so existential?
If I don't make it back to land, someone will have to tell my family. Face to face, not through a letter from the benefactor. And I wanted to come from someone I trust. Could you...
Well, Nutley, I've promised a lot of people a lot of things today, and no one's considered what if I die. Of course, as captain, it would be my duty.
It's not your duty as captain. I know you don't have to do that. So, thank you. It would be a great favor. I trust you. This is going to be awkward. We're going to go home with, like, Kurt's will, Kasha's writings, Grimley's accordion, if they all die. Go talk to Nutley's parents, be like, yo, this guy died, I'm just going to go speak to these guys about this other person who died. Honestly. Stop talking about death.
Sorry, this is a short appointment. I've got a list.
I've got a long list of people who asked me to pass on their death wishes.
I swear if Templeton's like, Captain, you may have my...
book.
Oh, good evening to you, Captain. Apologies for the distraction. I was enjoying a textbook. Should I die, take this textbook back to my mother. She gave it to me. Anything interesting? This was the first textbook I ever read when entering the field of botany. I'm more than familiar with it front to back. Still, it's more than beneficial to reacquaint myself with my field of expertise, particularly when I've spent so much time now removed from it. What caused you to pursue botany as a study? A fascination with a class of life form that predates us by millennia, and will survive us by millennia. Do you know why plant life interests me to this degree, Captain? Enlighten me. A plant's primary goal is to ensure the continued survival of their species. Yet, the plant is stationary, vulnerable. What I find truly impressive is how they have developed to take advantage of their circumstance. They take advantage of the actions of others to ensure their own existence. Take your average apple tree, for instance. Birds come, they feast upon the fruit, and the seeds stored within scatter to the ground, ensuring another will grow. Quite ingenious a system, is it not? A form of life so seemingly simple has outsmarted just about every other species that would otherwise cause it harm. And yet not a single plant can survive out here. I think we've got them beat here. You may have a point, Shaw. Perhaps I take human ingenuity too lightly. Well, I assume this topic is quite a bore for you. I won't keep you any longer, Captain.
Oh, well that was a nice... Templeton's the only one who had a normal conversation with us. He was like, oh, just reading this book. It's one of my favourites. Like the first book I read. Everyone else is like, if I die, I need you to do this. Promise me that. Promise me. It's like, please don't die. Right. Another week is gone. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to do the same again. I can afford it. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be alright. I don't have the fuel to do anything else. I need to save fuel.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm terrible. Such an awful captain.
Pop another seal in the furnace.
I'll pop another seal in the furnace. 3 leopard seals, 4 penguins. Flick, no, don't become freezing. Quailsy, you as well. God. No.
Freezing and wounded.
Oh, poor lassie.
Well, at least if you freeze wounds, it does something for infection, right? Doesn't it stop it?
Yeah.
It's good for inflammation.
Oh boy. Yeah, absolutely. Next week. How are we looking? How are things looking? Week 16. 5 weeks at second camp. Interesting. It's not letting me go to the furnace. Let's take requests then.
Kasha charges into the tent. Captain Templeton! You're out of breath. What is it? It's Cont and Hammond. They're about to knock each other out. Come quick. She bolts out the tent. Best see to it, Captain.
An argument between myself and myself? Wonderful.
You rush over to the commotion near the boiler.
Do you have any idea how much you're jumping the gun? I know how much you bloody want to keep playing in the snow. Playing? I take my work as seriously as you. You don't actually believe that, do you? Fine, we'll do things your way. No preparation, no stockpiling. We can all starve to death, but sooner. Great idea. We're not going to get any more prepped waiting around. We need to hunker down. You're just like feeling useful, and you don't want it to stop. You don't care about the lives on the line. Of course I do. I have experience on the ice. I know the dangers of the winter. You're just too stubborn to do anything but your own. And when you don't get your way, you make a big song and dance about it. You can't help yourself. You're a bloody glory hound, always looking to be the big man. Not hard. Sorry that you can never be the big man. Watch it.
It's clear this could quickly turn ugly. I don't recall asking for dinner and a show. Cont and Hammond notice you. Cont eyes you before scanning the audience that has assembled.
You're going to get us killed, you idiot. I'm not the only one who agrees with this course. Then get them killed. Get yourself killed. I don't care what you do.
That's enough, both of you. The two refuse to listen and continue their argument.
You think you can just come marching into the middle of the camp and, marching? Bah! Unlike you, it only takes me a few steps, cane and all. Aye, you could have brought this up in private, but nah. Man like you can't survive without an audience, can ya? I'm trying to be reasonable, Hammond. This is just like the ship. You're incapable of considering anyone else's point of view. Everyone else's point of view isn't 10 foot off the ground and still up their own hole. For such a short man, I thought you'd be above name-calling, Hammond. I told you to watch it. You're being heartless, Hammond. Heartless? I'm the one buddy playing it safe.
Kasha turns to you. Captain, aren't you going to do something? I'm going to fire my gun into the air.
Really?
Step between the two men. No. You step in between the two men, breaking the pair up before things grow physical.
Captain, this is between me and the engineer. Out of my way, Captain. I'm not done.
No, you may kill each other in your own time. Put a stop to this now. After the exchange, both men looked to each other wearily, their aggressions taken out, the two of them left only with a glow of shame for their actions.
Hells. That certainly could have gone better.
Despite his jovial comment, Cont is unable to bring a laugh to anyone, including himself. Did you both get that out of your system? The two men let out weary sighs, almost in unison. Leave. You walk away, making your way to the tent, the two men left to wallow in their shame. As you walk away, you are stopped by Templeton. Stepping in yourself, Captain. It's unbecoming. You should have exercised your authority proper, not gotten physically involved. I just set an example for the rest of the crew. They should follow it going forward. I see. I can respect that for you, Captain.
And you bloody well better.
We best hope that the crew indeed follow your example. I'm concerned they will instead inspect you to act on their behalf.
Oh. Right. Let's cure some of the crew. Oh wait, I keep doing that. Who's got frostbite? Why is two Johns locked out?
He's an invalid?
I don't know what that means.
means he's too ill to be of use.
Interesting.
Interesting. He shall die. I find that interesting.
I think I was assigning the crew to make medical compass. That's what I was doing.
Oh, yes.
Derp.
In the middle of it all.
Mr. Gloss. Let me just take a drink, because I was just shouting at myself. Whoa, hey. Captain, good news. My penguin write-up is complete.
You seem awfully proud.
I most certainly am. Thank you for allowing me the time, Captain. Sure. Any spare timber? Crew want me to carve up some totems.
Totems?
Aye. Good fortune on the ice. Some feel uneasy after what happened. I used up all the timber in the furnace. Sorry.
Well, I'm not gonna suggest is it cool.
Yeah.
Either the first one or the third.
I mean, they're pretty much the same.
A good idea, but I'm afraid we're out of timber.
Shame. Sorry, I used it all in the furnace. Gotta live, you know. Okay, this time. Yeah, I was asking them to cook up medical comforts when actually what I wanted to do was pop them in the medical bay. If I pop someone in who's freezing, that'll cure them of freezing, I think. I'll keep a scout. Thank you. There we go. Nothing right now, Nutley. I'm going to cure some people. Healed freezing. Healed freezing. How are we doing for medical comforts? We have one left. I'm going to make more. Get to work. Right. And then let's go hunting. Come on, leopard seal. Regular seals.
You turn your nose up at regular seals.
They're just not that good. Crab-eater seals are kind of shite. Right, send out the lads for some penguins.
Imagine rating someone on their ability to be eaten.
Imagine what?
Rating someone on their ability to be eaten. The crab-eater seal's probably like, hey, fuck you, bro.
I could go for some Adderley penguins. Why the fuck not? Okay, let us fill up the furnace and the hoosh pot.
Hoosh hoosh.
Hoosh hoosh. Hmm. 86 is a good amount. And I healed freezing. And in the hoosh pot, let us put in some of these wee baby adorable, well, they're not baby penguins, they're Adderley penguins, they're just smaller penguins.
Let's just pretend that the penguins were guilty of terrible crimes. They deserved it.
Yeah, they did, they are. They were.
They were.
I have 7 leopard seals. Look at all these leopard seals, that's great. Love it. Toss in some emperor penguins as well, why not?
Murderers.
One more emperor penguin. The crew have their meal. That looked like there was a lot more going to be added on. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Oh man. Let's see what people are having to say. This looks like Kasha and Cordell. You can have a conversation with yourself. It's your turn now.
You've been bothering my dogs for some time now. They're having fun. Are you shaken by the morning's events? That? I've covered much worse incidents in the city. Yes, but you could return home after that. Grant my dogs a rest. And grant one to yourself as well.
Anything for Cordell?
Captain, there's a matter I wish to bring to your attention. I intend to train one of the crew to handle the kennel in case I...
Oh, now it's Cordell's turn to say.
Well, if the worst should occur, I do not wish the crew left without a kennel master. A good idea, Cordell, but let us hope it doesn't come to that. Thank you. I will ensure someone suitable is chosen. But We will speak more on this later. This is your time of rest, correct?
But I like talking to you. Just checking. NPC.
This has been a really easy way to get everyone's loyalty.
What?
The only time when you have to just say the same thing to everyone's like,
Same
I
thing.
respect your wishes, of course. I sincerely hope it does not come to that, but...
Yeah. You just like, you don't say, no, we're gonna get home. You say, okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Look how close we are to getting Cordell's loyalty. To be fair, that's the highest you've been with Grimley for the entire game. If you hadn't lost some of his loyalty earlier, you might have been up there. I think you got plus 20 for the intervention with Templeton, and then plus 10 for stepping in between the argument yourself.
I should go up to his accordion and give it a little kiss. Like,
I feel like you wouldn't like
Whoa.
that.
Be like, yes, she's speaking to me.
This
She
looks
says...
like... what does she say?
She says... Grimley, oh, you're so handsome. Thank you for playing songs on...
Sounds about right.
I think that'll get his loyalty.
Have you noticed how he hangs out by the leopard seal? He must smell really bad.
I think everybody probably does.
That's the point, yeah. Probably haven't
We all
showered in
reek.
ages. Okay, this looks like Cavity and Two Johns. Now that fight was something, wasn't it?
Two jumped up egos, cracking under pressure, I imagine. You've never been in a fight, have you, Two Johns?
No, nobody has ever tried to fight me.
Not surprised. You're massive, but you wouldn't hurt a fly.
Oh. Dick Grips.
Should have known this would happen. Chief was bound to fly off the handle eventually, eh?
Aye.
Can't say I feel bad for Mr. Darling, anyway.
Speaking of...
At camp, you notice Kurt hesitantly approaching Hammond.
I should apologize for what happened this morning. You should, or you want to. We shouldn't give in to immaturity. We should be bigger, more mature men. Alright, let's leave it at that. I'm not going to be starting on you again. Right. Good. Aye.
The two share a brief silence.
You can be on your way now. Right, of course.
The two return to their duties as you return to your own.
Let's see if they have anything to say. Nah. What about you? Nah. What about you? Nah. How about you, Grimley? Nope. Who's this? Quilsey and Yorick. Can you believe the nerve of that Hammond fellow? He's lucky Kurt didn't just wallop him.
Kurt could have handled it better, but Hammond is a prick, yes.
What about these two? Nope. Yeah, okay. We're good. Oh, Templeton, I suppose.
Captain, I've noticed a decline in my writings. At first I blamed the cold. Then I realized I would often drink coffee as I write. It's becoming more difficult to keep up the energy without it.
I ask you that question sometimes.
How much coffee would you drink to make such a difference? I admit I had grown quite dependent on the caffeine. It's a shameful thing. I've often struggled with sleep. No matter how exhausted my body would feel, it often wouldn't come. Best to channel those hours into research, I've always believed.
Do you relate to that?
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe not the research.
Yeah. Alright. Once again, you know what? That's a lot of crew freezing. Half rations for fuel, and I'm gonna double for food because, you know what? We have so many leopard seals.
Do we?
We have a lot of leopard seals. We've got 7. That's like 24 hoosh.
Whoosh.
And more. Look, penguins. Two Johns.
No.
Tashi. Quilsey. Tucker. Gnomes. Runstar. That's a lot of freezing. To be fair, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's alright. 6 weeks at second camp. Week 17. I did that the other way around. Ooh. Okay. The furnace. Hammond. Captain, about what happened last week. Sorry. What's this? Oh, it's good of you to be aware. Okay, so this is like, remember when we had the option to lock down the ship?
Yeah.
Well, not lock down, abandon ship. We've got the same option now to lock down camp and prepare for winter. Because the days are getting shorter, eventually we'll have no daylight, and when the storm starts, we're going to need shelter.
So, what would that entail?
Basically, we can still hunt, but it's not everyone who goes out on a hunt will get freezing. But I'm confident we have enough food to last the winter.
So, lock down camp and prepare for winter would just be like hibernating, basically.
Yeah, until the winter passes. Let's just take requests and see where we are for the day. No requests for the day. Well, okay then. I guess we're not doing that. In that case, let us feed the furnace with some... Ooh, I want to save my elephant seals. We don't have that many left. I'll pop one in. And I think anyone who gets frostbite, I'll heal with Nutley. In the meantime, you little shits can go in there. As can you. Alright. Alright. Heal frostbite. Freezing. Oops. I always do that. Send the scouts out. Fish. Fish. That's really good. I do like fish, but kind of want more. Adelaide penguins, I'll do. And I might as well get some fish. I'll just send the free. I'm going to use the scientists to make medical comforts. Oh, well, let me send them. Oh, I don't have enough dogs. Ha 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 ha. Well, you know what the thing about that is? Now I do have enough dogs. Get wrecked, game. You can't stop me. Okay, there's a good chance these guys will develop frostbite, but got some elephant seals, got the doctor, can raise the temperature on the furnace. Yeah. And I'll get some medical comforts. How many have we got? 3. That's good. Okay. Furnace. Pop some like coveted coal in there. Pains me to do that. I suppose I'll call the crew for dinner. Very uneventful day. The crew have their meal. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Listening to people. Junior and Cordell.
Hunting season seems to be winding down. It would seem. We likely have a handful more weeks before the wildlife begins to clear up. Do you ever share your rations with the dogs? They do the hunting after all. Only right they reap some of the spoils. They have their own rations. I'm sure they prefer my cooking to that broth. You may try them. I won't stop you.
Everyone loves the dogs.
They're good for morale.
They are. Doctor, good evening. Something on your mind? I was curious. You've been awfully quiet after, well, last week's scrap-up. Your visits have been scarce, and you've kept to your own at dinner. Well, I suppose I am still licking my wounds, proverbially speaking. Last week's incident was something of an embarrassment. Well, I just wanted to check in, see if you were okay. Ugh, I'll be fine. Just need to settle this damned pride of mine. Thank you, son. Doctor. Oh, you're welcome, I suppose. Casher and Clive.
Hammond, a question.
I told you, I'm not getting quoted in your bloody report.
Calm down, it's not about you. You've worked with Mr. Templeton before, yes?
Regrettably.
Do you happen to know his age? It wasn't listed in the records, and estimating based on appearance is difficult.
He's younger than he looks. That's all I know. Anything? Nah. Anything? Nah. What about this? Grimley and Templeton. You got close to shore quick.
I was designated by our benefactor to be the second officer on this expedition. I'm simply doing my duty.
Aye, sure. Tashi! Summer's winding down. We're hunkering down soon.
Most likely, I would say. Most likely.
Good. Nope. Just checking.
Captain, I've been looking over the contracts, and I feel an update should be made to your own. Your work has far exceeded your pay scale as first mate. Once we return to land, I will arrange it so that you receive Hunt's promised pay, in addition to your own. I'm honoured, but that pay should be divvied up among the crew. Among the crew? Well, your humility is admirable. Well, I shan't argue with the wishes. I'll arrange for it once we return to land. I'm certain the crew will be pleased.
Of course we will. We love money. Well, they love money, I suppose.
I feel like it would be adequate compensation. Well, less than they deserve for...
Okay. Resource-wise, coal, leopard seals, more seals, more seals. And we're going to get some penguins and fish at the end of this week. 20, 40, 60, 120 fuel. That's what I've got. Leopard seals can go in the furnace as well. I might use crab seals. Right. Next week or lockdown for the winter?
What do you think?
You're the captain.
Is it too soon to lock down for the winter?
You're the captain.
Help me!
I think... No. You're the captain. It's your decision.
What do you think?
I feel like I've helped you enough. You've had quite a lot of guidance from me, I think. Helped you avoid some bad decisions, but also kind of stayed out of other ones. This one's yours, I think. At the end of the day, all that's going to happen is the temperature will go lower, and it just means the scouts I send out will become more freezing, which is going to start becoming a problem because I only have 2 elephant seals left to cure freezing. But as it stands, I can cure 2 people with the furnace, and then 3 with the doctor. So technically I can cure 5 people of freezing. And if we get overwhelmed, I've got medical comforts. I've got 3 medical comforts. So technically speaking, I can just keep using these in a day and getting the scientists to make more. Because these cure freezing, frostbite, everything.
And we don't have a lot of... We could do with more time to hunt, I think.
Could find some more elephant seals, that would be ideal, but I don't think there are any out here. I think it's mainly leopard seals and penguins. Another week, or lock the camp down?
Another week.
Food rations. I'm gonna half each. We've got enough decorum. Actually, yeah, I've got enough decorum. 5 penguins, free fish. Oh, I thought I had some emperor penguins. Tucker, Lefty, Cavity. Tashi's got frostbite. 2 Johns has frostbite. Quillsy's got frostbite. Grips is now freezing. Tucker is now freezing. Rud's dad has become malnourished. How did that happen? I'm sure I gave them enough supplies. Week 18. 7 weeks at second camp.
He's been giving all his rations to his ghost son.
His ghost son, yeah, that kid.
He's been leaving it out for his imaginary child.
Nutley and Templeton. Mr. Templeton, would you happen to know if Kurt has any children of his own?
I believe he does. Several.
He talks of them quite a lot as well. It's not a secret.
I understand his oldest son is a lecturer of natural histories at Granford. Why do you ask?
Well, I noticed he tends not to mention any family.
It's hardly either of our business, Doctor.
Right. Apologies for my curiosity.
He goes on about his children all the time.
He does. What are we waiting around for, Captain? Can't keep up like this much longer. Winter's coming in. We better recover up before the cold takes us.
I feel like next week we should lock down.
Midday. Who's got frostbite? Tashi, 2 Johns. There was someone else, wasn't there? Yeah, Quillsy. Let's see what else. Any requests? It didn't have the big symbol above it, so I don't know if there are any today. Yeah, no requests. Another slow day. Right. Malnourished can be cured easily enough. Are we sure? Did I give them half rations this week? I thought I gave them full rations. Oh well, mustn't have. Ishpot.
Plop.
Plop indeed. Right, these guys are only freezing, so that's not too much of an issue. I can solve that. If that develops into frostbite, again, not a problem. No one's got frostbite. No one's going to die. He says confidently. I think we'll be alright. Let me send out some scouts. See if we can get anything good. Fish. Hey! Elephant seals. That's exactly what I needed. 3 more elephant seals. That'll help with freezing. And if I renew the dogs, I could get some more fish, I suppose.
Plop, plop.
Plop indeed. And I still have 4 crew left. Who's left? Tucker and the scientists. I might brew some more medical comforts. And then I could just have Tucker interview with Kasha and that'll get some decorum.
Yeah. And then I think maybe we should lock down at the end of this week.
Lock down for the winter. Time to hibernate.
Yes.
Get yourself in there, Tucker.
Tuck in.
Tuck in, laddie. Yeah. Call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. Dinner is shared and stories are traded. Ooh, boy. What's this? Is that Hammond? I can't tell from the back. Blue, I think, means engineer. Winter's here.
Yes, the pack are eager to move to a new location. I'm afraid we will be staying put for quite a while.
Here's hoping they can sit still for a few months.
My dogs will manage. The crew... I have some faith they will as well.
I'm worried about how our equipment keeps more than anything.
More so than the crew themselves?
Losing our equipment dooms us all, your dogs included.
A practical mind. It is rather appreciated.
Aye, thought you'd understand. Are they getting on? They're friends. What's this? Grimley and Lefty.
We're closing up for winter soon, I understand.
Aye.
Something on your mind, Stoke?
They're still out there. Somewhere.
You have to let these things go eventually, lad.
We'll see. Mrs. Gloss and Gnomes.
Somewhere out there. So you say it's going to get colder from here? Indeed, we've been tracking the dates and we've approached the end of summer. Winter is fast approaching. Shit, it's cold enough already. Yes, I dread what lies ahead of us. Well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe the weather will hold. It would be a mercy, but I rather doubt that.
Quilsy... No, that's York the Third and... I never know. Oh, we've been preparing for winter all afternoon. How fares your engineers?
Dick gives a silent nod.
Good to hear. Here's to the cold being kind. He doesn't say much.
Mr. Darling, it still seems some of the crew have been most curious regarding your family.
Oh, is that so?
How was your eldest? I recall him beginning to work at Granford while I had one foot out the door.
Henry? Oh, he's been having a whale of a time. Last I heard, he was beginning to settle down, start a family. Perhaps he already has. I should speak to him again once we return.
Something to look forward to.
I like Templeton. Even though he could be a bit of a stick in the mud. He's got a stick up his arse, but...
Doctor, did you happen to have the hobby of collecting insects as a child?
As a matter of fact, I did. I grew up by the countryside, so I often prowled the forests before and after school. The prize of my collection was a stag beetle. I would show it off to anyone who inquired. Sadly, they only lived for 7 years, just as I was growing out of the pastime. But why do you ask?
No reason. I just had a suspicion. You seemed the sort.
I know better than to ask for elaboration. I was just going to ask, what does she mean by that? Okay. It looks like we have to lock down this week. I can't. I mean, I can't. I actually can't skip. So it looks like we do have to lock down this week.
Lock down.
Let's get this baby locked down the camp and prepare for winter.
Do it.
Food is fine. 1 crew member will be cured of malnutrition. 2 crew members will develop freezing. I can take it. Oh my god. Doesn't matter what I do, there's going to be people who are freezing. Look. Look. The temperature's so cold every week someone's going to get freezing.
Oh dear.
Okay, well, week 1 I'll spend some extra rations just to mitigate it. And then after that, we'll have to see how things go. Elephant seals.
Good
fish.
stuff.
The long winter continues. Freezing. That's fine. Freezing. That's fine. Wounded. Yeah, I can take that. Freezing. Yeah, fine. Not an issue. Gnomes also freezing. Yeah, that's... Yeah. No longer malnourished.
Well,
Hey.
that's good.
Grips. Frostbite. Okay, I can deal with that. Tucker, also frostbite. That's fine. Cavity. Freezing. No issue there. Right. Let's get this camp locked down. Week 21. 1 week at 3rd camp. Ooh.
Captain Shaw, personal log. The crew have settled down for the long winter. It will be many months before the canopy is removed, and further travel across the ice will be a possibility. The winter... The crew will be here for quite some time. The winter is long and cold, and carries out in complete darkness. One can lose track of the days. Men are known to go mad under these conditions. It's not uncommon for one's sanity to buckle under stress and fear in extreme conditions. And this proves to be the most extreme of all. Complete darkness in the coldest part of the world. It would be appropriate to keep a constant check on the crew's mental conditioning at this time. Curt and Hammond. Before the winter set in, the navigator and the engineer came to blows in public amongst the crew. Quite literal were the blows, as the men had to be separated by the crew. Tensions were high. This should not hang over either man's head. A professional disagreement is... turning uncivil is not unheard of, particularly in high-pressure situations. Both men still carried the crew's best interest at heart, and tensions seem to have calmed since the incident. The coldest part of the world has now entered its coldest stage. In the winter, even words and time can freeze over. The doctor is likely to have his hands full in the coming months, dealing with frostbite amongst the crew. I only hope the young man is prepared for such a test.
Nutley is a tank. He is actually... He's for all you can be a complete prick to him, he's great at what he does. And yes, we can send people scouting, but it's suicide. They will get cold. They're going to get cold within the tent itself. So I'm just...
How did we put a massive tent?
We just had it, we had it stored.
How did we do that?
Because it was all... You see these lifeboats? These were like storing loads of supplies in them. Because I think it was always kind of anticipated that they might have to leave the ship. Right. What are the folks saying? Hammond and Cordell. There's the beasties.
Earning their rest. Something they may make a habit of in the coming weeks.
Ah, and you're finally afforded a break from them.
I'm only seeking a modicum of heat.
I best get used to that too. Long winter ahead.
Indeed.
Ooh. Quilzy, Yorick, and Flick. Quilzy's you.
We'll be holed up here for a while. At least it means some rest, finally. You say that now, but you'll miss the chance to stretch your legs before long. Most likely, for now, I'll embrace the quiet.
Do you hear those winds? Nothing quiet about the winter, my friend.
Also, nothing quiet about being stuck with you.
Ha! True. Kasha and Mr. Gloss. Under the canopy. It's almost cozy.
If you ignore that it's colder than ever, yes.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have a nice flask of hot cocoa at a time like this.
Ah, why did you have to mention it? Now it's all I want.
Ah, well, best saved for home, eh? Nutley and Junior.
It's just like one big tent, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose so.
Can't hunt in this weather. Wouldn't find anything anyway. Well, he is open. We've stockpiled enough for the winter.
Yes, let's. Okie dokie. Bish, bash, bosh. Your hat. You've got frostbite. You've got frostbite. There we go. That's them sorted. Feed the furnace. Feed the furnace, please. There we go. Look at all the fish we've got.
Fish.
Fish gives so much. It's actually... I never realised how much hoosh fish actually gives. Oh my god. That's an annoying bug.
What is?
Like, I go to feed the furnace and it just doesn't come up with anything. Time to use one of my flares. Hoosh pot. I'm just going to use the fish. Fish, fish, fish. Fish, fish, fish. Fish. Plop.
Hoosh hoosh.
Gnomes and grips.
We hold up in here for quite a while. At least there's less work on our place. We should be careful with lamplight. Wouldn't be hard to set that canopy alight. Then we certainly wouldn't want to be trapped underneath. Gloomy one, aren't you? Sorry, just cautious.
Enter the request tent. Alright, lads, what do you got for us? Hammond and Junior.
Well, Captain, sun won't be getting up for a while. Welcome to our new home.
Aye, this canopy ain't pretty, but she'll do us right. Better than being stuck out in that blizzard.
That, I believe, we can all agree on. Strong one, aye. Worse than any I've ever seen. We'll have to keep an eye out for rips in the outer canopy. Don't want the heat seeping out.
Or the cold ripping in. You see a single hole, you grab whoever you can to fix it.
Best we heed their warnings, Captain. This tarpaulin is old and has clearly seen better days. Captain, I hope you are becoming accustomed to our new setup.
Well, it's been one day, Templeton, so...
It'll be some time before we can leave this canopy. 21 weeks. I assume you've been taking track of the time. It's been 21 weeks since we first set sail. "18 more weeks until rescue, correct?" Yes. The winter will be long, but I feel it won't feel as such. Even thoughts could freeze out here. I think the weeks will pass before you know it. Still, you've been in command for quite some time now. It has made for interesting observation, at the least. And you've been making your judgments, I take it?
Templeton flicks through the pages of his notebook.
I admit, telling the crew that Hunt had passed did not endear you to the sailors. They remain sceptical.
Well, who told us to say that, Templeton?
Sake, Templeton.
Honestly, he's always judging you for that. It was his idea.
But I was the one who recommended that course of action, and I still believe it was the best of our options. Well, he's done some self-reflection in his journal.
Yes, I suppose we jumped the gun a bit there. At least he knows. At least he's self-aware.
And you'll admit that to the crew if need be?
Wow, just throw him under the bus.
Yes, if need be. Oh, he
Templeton
liked that.
flicks through the pages of his notebook. I know.
Why did he like that? I am disappointed by your refusal to take action against Stoke and his music. Leaving room for such open disrespect for your authority, you now look weak and ineffectual. Better weak than a tyrant. I'm not here to abuse authority. Not abuse, enforce.
Templeton flicks through the pages of his notebook.
I must commend you for your action during the incident with the leopard seal. Your cool head and preparedness meant we were able to avoid disaster. Kudos.
Templeton flicks through the pages of his notebook.
It'll be a long time before winter clears, but when it does, we will be closing in on our rescue point. Which is also the last lone location of the Viscount, if you may recall. I'd almost forgotten of the Viscount. That mission is long in the past now. I wonder. Do you still hope to find the Viscount? No matter, we've spoken enough. Best we get back to work.
Indeed. Yeah, we are closer to the Viscount now than ever. Hold on. See, Viscount Island's right here.
Bitch, fuck that shit.
That's our mission. That's the whole reason we're here.
But everything's gone so wrong.
Has it? Look,
Yeah.
everyone's still alive. The only people were lost were these three idiots who went with the captain and the ship, and that's about it, really. All in all, we've been doing pretty well. See what Kasha has to say.
Is that the same compass you carried in your third film?
Indeed it is! I'm surprised you're able to pick up on those details.
Well, I have seen them quite a few times. My family purchased a printer through the White Wastes for private screenings, so I'm quite accustomed to it all. That's a disgusting title.
Through the White Wastes? You must have been this tall when that film came out.
Maybe shorter. That canvas pack of yours, that must be 30 years old by now.
Aye, I know to keep my equipment well maintained. You're the same, aren't you?
Of course. I never let my trusty camera even get scratched.
You know, we barely had a budget for that first film. Most thought the idea was set for disaster. I had to get the sponsorship of Tinned Beans to even get that expedition off the ground.
I remember those adverts. Newspapers ran them for quite a while. In fact, I had some newspaper clippings for research, building a portfolio. I think one of those adverts is in this folder.
Why would you need so much research? Seems a bit much for one expedition.
Well, this is for something else.
And that is?
Well, it's somewhat shameful to admit, but I keep record of some historical figures that I hope to one day, well, I've hopes on one day writing a biography on.
A biography?
Yes, I know it's getting ahead of myself, but I like to be prepared for projects that are in the realm of possibility, maybe?
Ha! Ah, I would like to see that. A historical figure, eh?
I would say you fit the criteria.
Flattering. But it does make me sound old. Ha! Oh. Okay, any rips in the tent? I can't see any. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay. Oh, the poor little doggies. You tickle it behind the ear. Call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. The crew return to their posts. The long dark continues. You can choose who to spend your evening with. Nope, we've got a tear in the tent. Repair this hole in the canopy. Get on it, lads. They set to work. Right. I think it was just the one. Who should we talk to? I think we could talk to everyone, but who do you want to talk to first? Or if it is just one person, who would you want to talk to?
Nutley.
Nutley and Grimley. Thinking of going for a stroll? What? You were staring at the exit for a while there. Right. You alright? Yes. It's going to be a long winter, isn't it? Should be. And the food we have now will have to last us, right? What are you getting at? Well, nothing. Nutley scurries off, returning to his tent. Junior, you see that, Shaw? Something's up with the doctor. Don't like it. Oh, he's worried about him. We talk to everyone.
Yeah, let's go to...
How do you say this one? Acceleration. You said this was a simple book. You certainly picked an interesting time to start reading. I'd bet it's too dark to see anything most of the time. What brought on the need to learn? Not going to be strong forever. Whaling work will dry up. Still got time to learn something else. Templeton and Cordell.
Miss Cordell, would you be able to calm that thing down?
Rude.
I am attempting to make note of the day's work. The movers left Stanbury overstimulated, and with nowhere to take them, bored. How long before the creature tires itself out? A pack down can remain active for several hours without taking a rest. And then it will calm down. Perhaps then another is likely to act out again. How is anyone to have any work done in their presence? You will grow used to it. Learn to focus your mind. I am focused on my duties at all times, thank you very much. Then you should have no issue.
I like your dedication. Kurt. Captain, we're set in for quite a few weeks. We'll have to find something good to pass the time. All sports are out of the question, considering the circumstances. Perhaps we can share stories of expeditions past. I have quite a few up my sleeve.
That would be nice, Kurt. I'd love to hear some of your tales.
That would be just spiffing. Though we may be here for quite some time, better I get through them at a reasonable pace. I wouldn't want to waste every story I have in a single evening, would I? Oh well, I'll let you get back to your work for now. They could set up a D&D game. We're only going to be here for a few months. Cash and Nutley.
Ah, Doctor, you're back. You wandered off so soon after dinner. Is something on your mind?
Oh, no. I was just planning to get an early night.
Oh, well, good night.
Ah, yes. Well, might as well get more medical comforts. And we could assign someone for an interview. Who should we select? One of the sailors? One of the scouts?
We could assign Runstar and ask him about his
ghost child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see if we've got any more pictures. Oh, we do. Got a few.
So are there any of the penguins?
Let's have a look. There's the freezing lifeboat. The same freezing lifeboat, only slightly less frozen. Another one of Arthur. She likes taking pictures of Arthur, doesn't she? The camp.
She likes him.
Oh, the camp. There's Hammond. Ooh, is that supposed to be where the Temperance went down?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Laundry. Oh, look at him. He looks so awkward. There's Junior. Telescope. Camp. Binoculars. And we're back to Templeton. None of the, as if
No
she didn't take any
penguins.
pictures of the penguins.
She said she was going to get some shots. of them.
Well, maybe she just hasn't developed them yet. I think that's all I can do for this week.
Should we leave it there for this week?
Yes, let's end the week.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. So food's fine. Main issue is going to be people becoming freezing. I can cure 2 from freezing with the engineers.
Yeah.
And then 1 with the elephant seal. So what I'll do is I'll keep it at half fuel rations until we run out of elephant seals, and then I'll have to make do. Confirm and see how we are, how we'll be when we get back. The long winter continues. Mr. Zack is now freezing.
Oh dear.
Tucker is now freezing. Mr. Gloss is now freezing. Oh, that's fine.
Shall we leave it there for
Yes,
this time?
that's a good idea.
That was less freezing than I anticipated.
Yeah. Week 24, 4 weeks at third camp. Just enter inside. Yeah, I think this is an ideal spot. We've hunkered down for the winter.
We have. A lot has happened.
In it for the long haul.
Hammond and Kurt had a big argument,
They
but
did.
then appear to patch it up. So.
Yeah, and you've managed to keep both their loyalty, although Hammond's is quite close. You're so close to getting Cordell's loyalty, it's actually unfair.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Nutley, you're fine. Cash is fine. Templeton's decent. Junior's full.
Grimley, yeah, I got more of it. I got him
more than he
more
was.
of a laugh out of him this
Yeah.
week.
And in terms of resources, we have 50 fuel for the furnace, but I've got 3 elephant seals. To be fair, that's good for about 3 weeks of half rations on the fuel.
Yeah.
And I think the leopard seals will be more than enough food to take us through the winter. There's 24. They do 24 on the hoosh pot. Great source of blubber. And in desperate times, I can add them to the furnace. But yeah, all in all, doing pretty well. No one's died. Had a few people get frostbite, a few people get freezing, but
Thankfully, you know what you're doing with the resources, so you know
Yeah.
how to cure people.
I was curious to see how it would go if I left you in charge of them, but then I know you'd get upset if people started dying,
Yeah.
and that's not very nice.
No.
So it's nice to just see the story play out when you
We
don't
should
have to worry about
stick
resources.
to our talents.
Yes. We're getting close. I think we skipped 3 weeks because we were on week 21. Now we're on week 24.
It's quite. It is quite a cozy canopy sort
It
of
is.
situation.
Very comfortable.
I think it was worth waiting the extra week because we did get some more elephant seals.
Yes, yeah, that was a good call, I'd say, because yes, I didn't know there were any elephant seals on that part of the ice, but I'm really glad there were because those are really going to help push our fuel
It was worth it for the
to
extra
the limit.
resources.
But I'm confident. It looks like we're skipping 3 weeks at a time now rather than one. So we went from week 21 to 24. I think they said like 4 months. So technically, it's only like 3 more weeks, I think, of resources. But yes, doing well. We're not dead. That we can be thankful. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end it there.
Yes, let's go and have some cheese toasties.
Cheese toasties.